a part of the offspring that could make it into this mulatto race that will be encountered amongst the new people. You see. So the goal here is to use her as his great mother, as his incubation, as something to carry his seed to the future. You see what I'm saying? To the future. So this was in the late 90s when I heard this, or the early 2000s. But all of a sudden now we got these movies that come out each year, and they're pushing more and more to that. You see what I'm saying? It's pushing more and more to this, get it all set up to say, well, look, if we got to go back to Africa, and not necessarily talking about Africa, the continent, but Africa, this black woman. So if we're going to go back, we're going to go back with this black woman. And so this is some stuff that's actually going on. You see what I'm saying? So that's what he's talking about. Yeah, that's what's going on. It's something to assure them a future. You see?
Okay. How was we swept out of power? With all the greatness that we have done, building all these great pyramids, and we also had an army in ancient Kemet as well.
Yeah.
With Hannibal, we all had an army.
Right.
How was this little minute white boy able to conquer? And I know it had to be some mind control programming going on.
Well, you got to realize, by the time the white boy conquered, he just walked upon us when we were just sleeping on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You see, my point here was to say that we had removed ourselves from power by going to a dormant state long before the white boy came into existence, as far as that particular, and when it came to him moving. So I'm trying to say, time caught up with us. And see, I think at a lot of times, because we have the same timeline, to think that this timeline of Earth is, about 6,000 years, and by the time we get going, we got Egypt, then the next thing you got these white civilizations. Mm-hmm. And basically we all just been here for a very short time, and the white man also wasn't too far behind. So we have this particular mentality of a brief history of ourselves in ruling. And as a result, we can't fathom being on the earth for millions of years, if not thousands, or thousands, if not millions. And so, if let's say you've been here for a million years, then you weren't swept out of power. You see, you weren't swept out of power by some outside force. Basically, you just went to sleep. You see, you basically deteriorated yourself out of power. If you allow yourself to look at history longer than when we say it. So the first thing we do is we think of things in immediate history. 3,000 years, and there's Africa, then there's Rome, then there's Europe. So see what European history does is it pushes the timeline up to such a fairly new part of time. So it can make the rest of the world think that he's been here for most of the part of history. But yet John Henry Clark said half of human history was over before we even knew what a white man was. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you take the timeline and take it out of his timeline and put it in your timeline, and understand that your timeline is like the mythology said, you've been here for millions of years. Let's take the Greek mythology, which is Sumerian. So it's fair to say, so they proved that in 99 when they did a book called Over the Conquest over in Europe. And they said all that shit was Phoenician, Phoenician, and pre-dynastic Egyptian, and then the Greeks just basically copied their mythology. But when this look at their mythology, they talk about these different ages of men. The first one made of gold, The second was made of copper. The second was made of iron. And one was made of copper. We got to the bronze age or something like that. They got these different ages. And each age, the man became lesser and lesser and fell into more of a deteriorated state from the previous age. And that means that we've been here for so long, and so really in so many words, it's not an immediate thing. And I always say this too, they really didn't take Africa until the late 1800s. So all that time that we was even in slavery, Africa still basically was not conquered by the Europeans. You see, because it was a big, vast part of land. So we talk about something that's very brief. But we say that he inherited it because he just found the shit and found us sleeping. You see what I'm saying? He didn't have to do much. Even when he started invading, we were already done for. We was damn near savages compared to what we used to be. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's been very interesting.
Okay.
Well,
are there anything else you would like to touch
on? Yes. We see now we got these Egyptian artifacts here, Canaanite artifacts. I was fortunately to amass about 72 of these. I don't know how, when this is passed from.
Yeah, 72 of them?
About 72 of them. I got an entire one side of the room filled with all the Canaanite statues.
And they all different ones?
Yeah. I tried to get every one I could, and I had to order. I had this smaller segment, but I had to go order. Trying to had to order a big one off of the internet, and
you said segment. That's how you pronounce it.
That's segment. Yeah.
And what is her task?
Well, she's the God. This is interesting here because one part of it was already manifested. When I ordered the largest segment, the day she came, the UPS truck came to the house, and it's almost like from his route to when he was getting closer to my house, the heat started getting unbearable. And by the time she arrived and we put her down on the altar, we was in a heat wave. And that heat wave lasted for almost a month. And it broke all kind of records. And what it is, she is the god of the fierce heat. That's what you get Leo the lion in July. And they say that her heat also symbolizes and represents some type of African paradise. She's the Kundalini goddess, and she would be connected to the Nagars. The Nagar are the serpent people. There's a book you can get called Serpent, came out last year before last. It's called Serpent Grill. Serpent Grill by Philip Gardner.
Why would the
and Robert some kind of Osborne.
Right. Why would the Kemites wear faces of the animals? What did all that mean? What did that represent? Like segment. What is that?
Okay.
What is the face on that?
Well, the Egyptians understood certain things. We have civilizations that we know existed, like the Olmecs.
Right. That's a
cat. Yeah, cat. They left no records behind other than the Mayas. So the Mayas, if you want to study the Olmecs, you study the Mayan culture. But if you want to say the Olmecs as far as them themselves, we know very little about them, but we do know all we need to know based on the Mayans and the Aztecs, that is the Olmec. That you have cultures on the planet that survive, that strive to be, and yet they disappear. We don't know nothing about these cultures. But if you root your knowledge and your zootype and your meanings around animals is something that it exists as long as in cultures. So you know what a dog is. So you know, but you got cultures that was around and have gone through the annals of history and the history of and the graveyard of time, and we don't know nothing about